shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealers floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
So bad. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you.
Greg's got audio.
Mic check, 1, 2.
Yeah.
All right, we're in.
Oh, yeah, we're good. All right.
Hello, hello. There we are.
All right, we're back.
All right, we got the audio.
We were.
Well, they didn't even hear my. They didn't hear my. My terrific, terrible joke.
Yeah, that was it. I have to say that, maybe it was April Fool's, right?
Terrific Tuesday, everybody.
Absolutely. So, welcome to Mohawk Table Talk. I'm one of your hosts, Mike, and this is Nate. And also with us is Greg Johnson, General Manager at the Mohawk Honda store. But Mohawk Table Talk is where we bring you the weekly update on what's going on in the auto business, whether it's at Mohawk Auto Group or in the Capital District of New York or anywhere. We have a lot to share. We certainly have a lot of things to talk about. There's the first quarter is done, right? Which
There
April
it
1st
is, it's gone.
That certainly is no April Fool's joke. It's April 1st. Therefore, we just finished the first quarter of 2025. Boy, that seemed like it went by like that.
Oh yeah, I can't believe it's already the second quarter. 3 months gone in 2025. Have you mentioned this in previous episodes? Are you okay now writing the date at 25?
I am.
Okay,
I'm
good to
not
know.
crossing out the 4 and writing the 5. But it did seem like just an episode or two ago where we were talking about resolutions and forecasts and all this stuff, and that was at the end of 24. And all of a sudden, January, February, March, it just went by like crazy. And however, there's been a lot that's happening, and we want to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we had a record month at both of our stores, Mohawk Honda and Mohawk Chevrolet. 367 at our Chevrolet store and 650 here at Mohawk Honda. Give everybody a round of applause. That's amazing. That's just an amazing team we have going on here.
Right, and for people that don't follow how many cars that is, that's a lot, right? That's over 1,000 cars delivered last month between the two stores combined. And when we say record, that means never before has Mohawk Chevrolet delivered as many as 367 cars in 1 month. Never before. And at Mohawk Honda, never delivered more than 650. We did it last month. So that's amazing considering, especially at the Honda store, all the decades and decades and tens of thousands of folks who are our customers and our partners. And, it's a huge accomplishment. I'm proud to be part of the team.
Absolutely. And if you are one of our customers out there, thank you so much for being a valued customer of ours and getting us to this point. We couldn't do it without you all. So give yourselves a round of applause out there. We'll give one for you. Thank you so much to our lovely customers out there. But, there is some crazy news going on. we think that people are busting down our doors at the moment because of this news that has been out there for a while, and that is the tariffs, the infamous tariffs that people are scared of, I guess you could say. Hesitant, concerned,
absolutely
uproaring.
We haven't heard too many positive comments from folks inside the business or outside of the business about it. So take that for what it's worth. One thing that we stay away from, Nate and I, and Mohawk Table Talk, we stay away from discussing or making opinions on politics. However, some of these are just facts, right? Since the new administration has been sitting for 60 plus days, almost 70 days now, there certainly have been some changes, and the impending tariffs, especially as it relates to the auto business, both vehicle imports and parts that are looming literally days away. The Associated Press and all the news outlets say April 3rd, which is in 2 days from now, are the days that is the day that the tariff on imported vehicles will take effect. So we have an entire discussion circling around this, and with that, we welcome Greg Johnson, who's on Frequent Flyer podcast. Greg,
here we are
at the Honda store, and we certainly want to have him weigh in on the tariffs. First off, though, Greg, what's the feeling? What's the feeling with the team and everybody around the month last month? 650 cars. That's amazing.
I mean, it was insane. There was so many customers that just came in there. It was like we were giving away free cars. And we were here, and it wasn't just the sales department. The service department had an absolutely incredible month too. So 650 cars. It was about 400 new, 250 used. That's a lot of cars. And 155 of those were in the last 3 days.
Wow. 3 days?
Yeah. In 3 days, 155. And it was so smooth. It was so smooth. Everybody was extremely tired last night, but we got it done. We made it happen.
I was here for most of it, and that was like Grand Central Station down there, right? I mean, there were folks waiting, and luckily our staff is so used to that we were able to get people through. And if you're considering a vehicle, and it didn't really stop.
No.
First, it's midday today, and there's already people in the showroom again, almost like it was a continuation.
Yeah, there's no hangover. We call it the month-end hangover. There's no hangover this morning, where the team was right back after it this morning. I mean, it's really cool to watch and really cool to see.
Absolutely. Being part of the team, the number is great. We love to break records and set a new number, but really that means that at minimum 650 sales customers plus thousands, not just 650, thousands of service and parts customers who came through the door last month. So that's a lot of folks in the community that we know we've touched. So we certainly appreciate that. And there's a lot more behind that. We before we jump into our main topic, we definitely want to talk about what's going on locally, and that involves the community and what's going on here in Scotia Glenville, Boston Spa. There's a lot going on. We still have at least one drive going on, I believe, right?
One drive. We have some cans. We have a can drive running right now for a local community member. So make sure you come on in and check that out. We'll get that up on our story for y'all. Who's that for again?
Nicole has been really great at championing, that food drive. I don't want to misquote you, so put it in the notes.
Yeah, we'll get the notes for you.
Absolutely, local charity. Anytime we're always involved in something, and certainly that's not to diminish the charities that we help, but it's important to us that anytime there's anybody in need, dealership, if Mohawk Auto Group can rally around it, we're certainly happy to. So we have some. The food drive is like non-perishables, I believe, right?
Yes.
Just to make sure that they're good for a long time, and obviously make sure they're still not expired.
Not expired. Yeah.
So any contributions we're happy to help, and we have a donation area right in the Honda showroom for that.
We are still collaborating with the Aspire Athletic Club. We had a sweet shirt that came out with that drop, and is going to drop on Friday of next week.
Okay.
What a cool company. They're doing awesome stuff over there at Aspire Athletics. They came here the other day. I got to meet them for the first time, and I feel like I was talking to myself when I was talking to them about how they want to give back, and they want to serve the community and underprivileged and just do better. Like, that's what they want to do and make a difference for people that are less fortunate on top of their everyday training and personal training and all that stuff that they do. Just a really, really cool group of people.
Yeah, it has a similar, I would say, undertone of what we talk about, right? Like serving the community, but we also sell cars. For them, it's serving the underprivileged, but we also give, you also have a gym membership and we do personal training, right? And that's really when we're looking for businesses to kind of be on track with, to collaborate, especially with a merch drop or collaboration or social media. We're looking for those types of businesses that are trying to do more in the community, and so glad that we got connected with Aspire.
Yeah, I love the message that whether it's Aspire or any improvement on somebody's health, right? Keeping, staying healthy, to make sure that you can be the best version of yourself. That certainly sounds like our mantra around here for our team and our teammates. So, really great collaboration. Just to skip on to one other topic, somewhat related in terms of health, the health of your vehicle. We're definitely in spring now.
Yes.
There's no maybe. We're here. It's spring.
Thankfully, it was 70 degrees yesterday.
That's right. We're not looking back. I'm saying it. No more snow. We're done. April 1st. So we're just looking forward from here.
April showers bring Mayflowers, not April snow showers.
And what's important for April showers is to make sure that your vehicle's windshield wipers, right?
Oh.
Windshield wipers are in good shape.
That's right.
You get ripped during the that's right.
And time for snow tires to come off.
Exactly. If you haven't taken your snow tires off, come see us. We have same-day appointments available. We have express service available at both stores. So
and car detailing.
That's right. And then
all of your vehicles, they've been beaten up by all the snow, all the salt. It's still in your car. Your kids haven't been able to get out more, so you've been driving more, and now your car needs a cleaning.
That's right.
And what about the new services we offer with paintless dent repair? You get that dent over the winter, you didn't want to get it fixed over the winter, come in for a service, we can curb the rim.
Because there's a snowbank there,
Exactly. That's a segue that Greg can weigh in on, besides those additional services. Paintless dent repair.
Yep.
We have
wheel repair, you curb your wheel going through Starbucks drive through and it's just a little tight. You get it. We can fix that here. Interior repair, you get a little tear in your seat, spill something on it that stains it. We can get that back looking factory fresh for you.
Yep, those salt stains that get on, it seems like they get on everybody's carpet.
Yes.
Those are
that little jagged mountain that's gets on your little carpet there.
Yep. So we can help with that. Also, not to let the cat out of the bag here, but Honda has some facility additions.
Oh yes.
Made recently, which are really important. That really help make that an efficient visit for anybody looking to service their vehicle.
Yeah.
What can you tell the folks about the addition so far?
Sure. So we have added some more real estate. So we were able to pick up 4 more service bays, which includes a flat bay. We're going to be able to do, like I said, that paintless dent repair, the wheel repair, the interior repairs. We're even dabbling a little bit with windshields. Like, you name it, you're going to be able to come here for service. You come in for that oil change. Let's get that wheel fixed. Let's get that dent fixed. Let's get their interior fixed. And you leave here and your car looks brand new. So this new addition is going to be a huge benefit for our customers. We're super excited. No longer are going to be the days of calling for an appointment and it's booked out all week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you're like, well, I'm going on a road trip, like I got to get in there. No, same day, next day, we got you. We got you. It's all about you guys, the customers.
That's amazing.
It's like we're a doctor's office and a cosmetic surgery doctor's office all at the same time.
We're like an automotive Costco or something. You can buy
an outdoor pergola, liquor store, sweatpants, whatever.
Soon to have, maybe next time we'll have a cafe, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's coming in for their appointments and they're coming out with coffees and small little hors d'oeuvres and
amazing benefit for anybody servicing their vehicle, whether it's a Honda or whether we service all makes and models. So that really just streamlines everything. And having that one stop repair is a huge deal, right? Because if you're like me, I know I'm a procrastinator with some things, and if I don't get it done right then, I just don't get it done. And so if you're talking about a
convenience,
something absolutely. You get it done right at the same spot.
I'm in a similar boat. I'll say, okay, I'll get it done, and then oh shoot, it's already been a month. I said I was going to do this 4 weeks ago.
Exactly. So we'll transition just so folks know about our main topic. Certainly, the big topic, unless you haven't seen any news articles or anything, we mentioned in the beginning of the podcast that there are tariffs.
Yes.
There are tariffs impacting the auto business, and these are a real thing. They are in effect as of let's see, Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. That's the date that was scribed, and doesn't look like there's going to be any change to that. And for those that aren't familiar with exactly what that means or how that impacts you, we have Greg here to explain. He's really been on the front line with making sure that the staff is educated on exactly what we know so far.
Yes.
There's certainly some unknowns.
Very fluid situation.
Yeah, exactly. Can change anytime, but Greg, if you don't mind, let's give the folks a couple minute rundown on exactly what the tariffs are, what that means, and kind of what we have to look forward here in April.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, a 25% tariff is what all the headlines are. So what does that mean for the consumer? So any car that has a final assembly in the United States, zero tariff. If there are critical components in that vehicle, the transmission, the engine, things of that nature, those components, if they are imported into that vehicle that is final assembled in the U.S., those items will be part of the 25% tariff. If you are outside of the U.S. and everything is imported, the whole car, 25% tariff. So all manufacturers have different exposure to this at different levels. Honda is actually positioned very well. They're number 2 as far as what their exposure is to tariff increases. Ford being the only one that is scoring better than them at the moment. So we've got 3 cars that are manufactured outside of the U.S. There's the Civic, the CR-V Hybrid, and the HR-V. 2 of those are in Canada. 1 is in Mexico. So there would be price increases essentially on those 3 specifically, but you can't just raise the price on just 3 models. They would be out of line with the rest of them. So they kind of break it out over all of the models, and there's no pricing increases yet. And we got to see how this plays out, but it would probably be $2,000 to $3,000 per Honda as far as an increase in price when the time comes. There's some inventory on ground. There's a bunch in transit. Those will not be affected. It's just kind of, we got to see how this plays out. And Honda's doing a phenomenal job at communicating to us with where their stance is and what this looks like for the dealers. So that way we can best educate the staff and in turn the consumers. But what I would say is, I would strongly suggest if you're in the market in the now in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, now's the time. Like, lock in on prices now before any potential increases. We've always taken care of our customers. We've never price gouged anybody. Even during COVID when a lot of dealers were, that's not going to happen here, but price increases, they might happen, and that unfortunately gets passed along to the consumer.
Yes. So first thing, I know I've heard from some folks who have asked me, there's some news outlets out there that kind of, they're certainly paint a worse picture than what Greg just mentioned. So I've seen posts where, reputable news outlets are saying, expect $5,000 to $10,000 increases in vehicle prices. Now, it doesn't sound like at Honda, that's what we're expecting.
The latest communication to us is not that. There are definitely manufacturers out there that are going to see $5,000 to $10,000 price increases. That's a real thing. They do not have a lot of U.S. support. Most everything is imported, and those guys are really scrambling right now to try to figure it out. But I can say that Honda's in a very good position compared to most of the manufacturers out there.
Yeah, so that's certainly good for the Honda store. I know the Chevy store is in a similar position. I don't have the data on theirs yet, but certainly this could affect people's decision making and could actually accelerate it.
Yes.
Right? Have you heard anybody asking about that and maybe asking, should I buy a car now? Because that's certainly, like Greg mentioned, I mean, if you bought a car today, right, there's no tariff today. So if you bought a car today, you protected yourself against that. What's your feeling from talking to
There's a lot of different things, right? Like, for me personally, when I heard the tariffs, right, everything outside, I'm thinking, is my Amazon cart going to go up?
Yeah.
That's my first thought.
Yeah, we're thinking about cars, but obviously this is not just cars.
Right, it's everything. But you know, we also saw, and you kind of brought this up. We've seen a few things, and just because you sent me a link about Amazon giving $2,500 in Amazon gift cards when you're buying a vehicle from Amazon. Like, what? That might steer somebody to be like, well, maybe we'll just go over here a little bit. But I hadn't heard that, and I do think that our March was impacted a little bit from people understanding that, hey, this is coming in, exactly what Greg was talking about. I think I'm going to buy a car probably within the next 3, 6 months, 9 months, and I don't know if these tariff things are going to situate themselves out. And you know what? Maybe I'm just going to pull the trigger. You know, my wife and I are talking, we should have bought a passport 3 months ago, right? So it's definitely on the top of people's minds.
I was working at the front desk. I was kind of a director of first impressions the other day when we were so busy, and I would say 85 to 90% of the customers that walked in the front door, that was the first thing. We wanted to lock in pricing before the price increases. There was a customer I greeted at 7:45 a.m. yesterday. Hey, I want to get this car right over here before the price goes up. So the media has instilled some fear, but there is some reality that, you know, prices are going up. So customers are taking action now to protect themselves.
That makes all the sense in the world. The tough part, you know, at times, maybe this is just me, but as the dealer, we certainly want to make sure that you have the education to know what's going to happen and how that might affect you. But we certainly don't want to come across, you know, like we're pushing you to do that.
Right.
It's up to you to make that decision. Knowing that, guys, both of you, who do you think might be the best candidate to consider maybe accelerate the decision making and think about April 2025 as the time to buy a car? Would it be like maybe somebody that has a lease coming up in 6 months instead of waiting the 6 months, or would it be a person that, you know, has that older car? Like, what do you guys think? What do you think?
I mean, definitely the lease candidate. You know, if you're leasing a car and it's due in the next 6 months, if you think about, let's say we use an average of $2,500. If a car goes up $2,500 on a lease, that's a lot on a monthly payment. So why not lock in now for the pricing that you can get now? And if you've got an older car and you've been thinking about it, putting it off, and you're like, I'm just going to kind of wait and see how everything shakes out and falls out. Are you a gambling man? I don't know, a woman? I don't know. But I would, me personally, I'm more conservative. I would say, I'm going to lock in the now. I know what I have now. My wife was supposed to get a new car yesterday. It didn't happen, but a new one's coming today or tomorrow. But my parents, my parents came in and picked up a new car on Friday because they wanted to beat the tariff. My wife was supposed to get hers yesterday. She's getting it the next couple of days. But I'm believing in my family is getting new cars like right now. They've been putting it off for a while, and now they're doing it.
No, makes a lot of sense. What do you think?
No, I think similar. Most of the individuals that I know, they typically buy and hold for a long time. So my consideration would be if someone, I was thinking about that 7-year mark, like on average, someone's gonna buy a new car every 7 years. So if you've had your car for about 6 or 7 years, and you're thinking about, all right, maybe I'll get one soon. I feel like that's always the mentality. I'm gonna get one soon. I just don't know. Typically, soon means within a year or so, right? Or they're starting to think about it. I think now is the time to really put some decision-making processes into place within the next couple of days.
Speed that up a little bit.
At least explore the options, right? My advice
it might be different than what you think, right? I think a lot of people have this notion of like, oh my gosh, it's going to be exorbitant, there's no way, but it might be different than what you think.
Yeah, and without being too pessimistic, I would find it hard to believe that if somebody did wait and tariffs are in full effect, that 5, 6, 7 months from now, it seems hard to believe that the payments or the pricing will be less.
Correct.
Even if they're similar, they're not going to be less. So,
will used cars have a similar effect or no?
That was going to be the $1 million question. Mike O'Toole, used car guru, what are we thinking is going to happen to the used car prices, market?
So this is what the used car market says. Some industry experts, not me, but this is what the industry experts say. So, and anytime there's a change, especially to a new car market, you're talking about a market that sells about 16 million new vehicles every calendar year. If that number changes due to the stresses on financing, due to the stresses on affordability, I'm talking about new cars, then those same customers probably are still going to transact. Right, and if they're going to transact, now they're pushed to the used market. A lot of customers, and at least at Honda, what we see is somebody that might have originally been a new Honda Pilot customer, right, a brand new Honda Pilot customer. Those vehicles are not inexpensive, and if they decide that, you know what, maybe it makes sense to look at something that's a little less expensive, but I still want a Honda Pilot, that next step might be a certified pre-owned Pilot, right?
Yes.
So a used car, pre-owned, certified, or even a little bit older, whichever is up to them. So we may see some of those new vehicle customers, because of that price difference increase, that price increase on the new vehicles, look to pre-owned as an option.
Yeah.
When they do that, and you have millions of people making that decision, you could see a bit of a scarcity in those late model vehicles, which means there may be more customers for those late model vehicles than there are cars, which that could affect pricing a little bit.
Okay, now let's visit that. Let's dig a little bit deeper with this. Let's peel this back a little bit more. So there might be an increase in used car demand because affordability concerns. What are we seeing as far as the amount of lease returns and the amount of inventory coming back right now? How does that play into this?
Sure, I think that's a real positive thing for somebody who owns a vehicle or leases it. The lease portfolio is it's relatively flat. It's not. It certainly is not an increase. So if somebody has a leased vehicle, it's not. It's actually a good thing, right? It's a good thing
Yes.
because you have that vehicle, whether it's leased or you own it. You have that vehicle, and as we just described, if there's an increase in the demand for those late model 2-3-year-old lease return age vehicles, there's an increase in demand. That's a positive for the person who owns it, right? Of course, right? That value is increased. So even though you may see an increase in that new vehicle price, you may see a similar increase in that trade value.
Yes.
So that difference between those vehicles may not change a ton.
Right.
They usually slide
Yeah,
together.
they usually slide together. So similar to like a real estate market or the housing market, when you see spikes, the good news is not just you have to pay more for that house, but the house that you may be selling on your own may also increase.
Right.
So you may not realize a huge difference. So in terms of settling folks' ideas about what might happen, similar to those COVID years. That's exactly what we saw happen then. I wouldn't necessarily say that we're on the same scale of the COVID changes or the COVID spikes, but we'll see that travel where trade values may travel along with the increase in new car prices.
Yeah, that's what I was
not a
thinking.
bad thing.
Yes.
I was thinking something similar to the lines of like now this person that has this lease, dealerships are going to be more apt to want to get those retail trades in so that we can offer this service because we already know. And we meaning these two gentlemen here and a lot of the people on the team are constantly thinking about, well, how many used cars do we need to have on our lot to make sure that we want to get to the amount of vehicles that we want to sell for that month. And we're always actively looking, whether it's through KBB, we're looking through Facebook, we're driving the roads for the person who's like has that for sale sign on their vehicle, right? That they're trying to sell privately. We're like, hey, you want to, what do you want to do here? So I think that is something to be acknowledged. So if you are in a lease, or again, if you are thinking about buying a vehicle and you're in that good range, you'll go through Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer to get a fair assessment on how much your vehicle is going to be worth. Bring it on in because you actually might get more than what you think.
That's right. And so that's a summary of what we know about tariffs and how it may impact, especially the Honda, new Honda product. We're certainly in a decent position compared to some manufacturers as it relates to the amount of vehicles or percentage of vehicles that Honda produces that are produced within the United States. So that's good. That's good news.
Yeah.
That's good news for potential Honda customers. Talk a little bit about how that might affect your vehicle that you own now and a possible increase in demand for those quality used cars, late model or otherwise. You may see an increase in demand, which is good for somebody that owns that used car. The next question, which is certainly valid, is now if there is tariff on vehicles, what about tariff on parts
Sure.
that come from other countries, specifically Canada and Mexico? So if you're not buying a car new or used, you just have your own car, but you need parts for the car. Greg, what do you think? What do we know from Honda so far about how that's going to affect parts?
Sure. So the latest that I've heard, I believe that the date is May 3rd. Is that the day everybody's here?
Yeah.
May 3rd is when the tariffs go into effect on parts. So if you're coming in for service, you're just buying parts for your car and they are imported, they're subject to the 25% tariff. And that's coming, there's a little more time on that. But when you do come in for service repairs and maintenance, that stuff, those items will be more expensive.
Yeah, I think almost. I don't know what you think, Dave, but I almost think that's a tougher concept to grasp because lots of vehicles, not just Honda, not just General Motors, but lots of vehicles out there, including Ford and Stellantis, some of the big three that tend to be U.S. based. They have parts where vendors, where they get the parts from, are not American based,
Correct.
not U.S. based. So, geez, I mean, what do you think? How do you think that sits? Because that's kind of a weird concept, right? That you might have a Ford, or you might have a Honda, or you might have a Chevrolet, but the parts in the vehicle are not going to be U.S.
I mean, from not being in the industry, you just assume wherever the car is made, that's where the parts are, right? But being in the industry, you understand now. It's like, okay, well, the final assembly, which Greg is talking about, that's where all the parts come together, but they have to get the parts from wherever that manufacturer
So many
is
different
making
places.
them from. And when these tariffs come into play, it's like, okay, well, this is going to bump up here, here, and here, which ultimately brings up the price of the vehicle. But say you get into a collision, so we have Mohawk Collision Center, right?
Yes.
Now you have to wait for that. Not only do you have to wait for that part, you also have to pay a little bit extra now.
Right.
So if you're like, hey, my bumper needs some help and it's falling off, now is also going to be time. And then subsequent to that, almost like a domino effect, right? Now you're going to start seeing insurances maybe possibly bumping up
Higher premiums,
because now they have to pay for more expensive parts.
It's certainly a real thing.
Yes.
But
those are the facts. We're not trying to fearmonger. We're just these are some consequences of each thing.
And the whole purpose of Mohawk Table Talk is to keep everybody informed as much as,
Yes.
with as much info as we have. That's specifically why Greg is here today, because this certainly is a big deal. Greg has been great with communicating to our team internally, because certainly even though, I work here, a lot of folks are here, we want to know also. We're as interested as, and not just for our livelihood, but we all drive Hondas, we all drive Chevrolets, right? So we want to make sure we understand what's going on with the vehicles that we drive every day, that our family drives every day. So I'll certainly make the promise that we will continue, whether we have Greg on again, to keep everybody informed.
Yeah, education is the best thing, and we've poured into the staff, so with any information, we communicate with them, so that way they can help keep everybody informed out there, because there is a lot of unknowns, and a lot of media outlets, like Mike said earlier, that are trying to scare people and put fear out there. So that's not us. We'll hit you with the facts that we have, to try to help you make the best decision possible for yourself.
Huge deal. Now, what we just talked about for the last 20 minutes is certainly no April Fool's joke.
Nope.
Certainly not. It is April Fool's Day, though, and that might be my generation and older that remember when that was a thing. Now, luckily, we don't have any office pranks on here or anything.
That you know of yet.
Yeah, that I know.
Yeah.
I just let that out. I see the producer over there laughing.
Right.
What's going to happen to me after
I will say there was
There'll be some saran wrap on the toilets, or
on your mouse. Put a little piece of tape on the mouse. You wonder why your mouse isn't working.
We've got a lot of ideas. They're laughing over there. So I'll hit you with a quick that you didn't know. It's more of just kind of some info just to lighten it up a little bit. Now, there are some famous or infamous automobile manufacturers that play April Fool's jokes. I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
And I'm going to give you the top 3 that are recorded.
Okay.
Based on popular demand. So coming in third, this is based on popular. I think this is auto mechanics here. So number 3, Jeep, the brand Jeep. They came up with in 2021, 2021, that's 4 years ago, came up with what they call a mud-on package that they advertised on April 1st as an available accessory for the Jeep product, Jeep, off-road, all that kind of thing, where the factory would apply factory mud on the side of the vehicle. And then you could buy that, kind of like Stonewash jeans or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And there were customers who were interested in buying such a package. But it turns out that was a cheap April Fool's joke.
Sounds all right for a cheap owner.
I actually think that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's just like a fiberglass, like
maybe like a decal or something.
Oh, decal, some vinyl, hit the Rap Kings, hook that up.
Put that on the side.
No, mud package.
And so that was just their second most popular or infamous April Fool's joke. This one goes to Volkswagen.
Ooh, Volkswagen.
The year after that, in 2022, Volkswagen came out with a car paint inspired nail polish. Right, so not touch-up paint for your car, but nail polish that you can put on your nails that doubles as touch-up paint.
Come on.
Touch-up paint, and the paint you can put on your nails. That way your nails match the car.
You know what? Hey,
I think you're onto something here.
I don't think that should be an April Fool's joke. I think that's just knowing your customer base. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go down and get some touch-up, and Nate will paint his nails after this to match his car.
I mean, the Jettas. I feel like it would be for the Jetta.
So certainly, Volkswagen is a great brand, one of the biggest brands in the world, and that was a great idea. They had such a response from their customer base that they were actually thinking about coming into really nail polish for their,
That was like a test, That's like you put that out on social media, you wonder is this actually going to grab legs?
And it did.
They need to bring it in. Bring it in, Volkswagen.
Years ago, Volkswagen maybe had quite successful now, certainly now. So, and then the
missed
last
opportunity there.
Last one, which is more my speed than the nail polish, in 2023, so the year afterwards, Subaru, right? So shout out to Subaru. They came up with, again, this is April Fool's. They came up with what they called Suba shoes. Not Subaru, but Suba shoes, which were an all-wheel drive hiking boot that matched the Subaru that they bought.
Listen,
Wow.
That needs to be. So all right,
ideas.
The crazy part is if they did like a limited edition Suba shoe, matching your car. You know how much they would actually make from that?
The survey says that the customer owner base of Subaru is still positioning Subaru to make something and become partners with a boot manufacturer to get that.
Then and Merrill.
Yeah, it was such a great idea.
Collaboration post, Subaru, I want in on it, I want IP for it. Good job.
That's right. So those are the three, and those are all April Fools.
That should be an April Fool's joke.
People just started, really piling on, and that's why they're the most popular.
That's funny.
Those are like good April Fool's jokes, like that.
They were like a joke.
Should be a thing.
Right, they're not a joke. It wasn't, it was a little past on your.
That's a little bit.
The one that got me today was, did anybody see Tiger Woods this morning?
No.
A couple of weeks ago, ruptures his Achilles tendon, not going to make it to the Masters next week. He's like, I'm out. This morning he goes on. The doctors, worked wonders. I forget exactly what he said on Twitter. And I'm going to make it to the Masters next week. And everyone's going nuts. And then 3 minutes later, by April Fools, my Achilles still a mess. I was like, I got all excited that he was going to be at the Masters.
He might be there in spirit.
Yeah.
In the booth watching.
Speaking of being in the booth, that was a lot. That main topic about tariffs is a big thing. It's certainly not a one episode done. We'll continue to update everybody. But what does it look like for the recap?
Looking for the recap, 25% on tariffs, how it's going to affect you if you're just hopping on, watching the replay. Thank you so much. But if you're just hopping on, make sure you watch the replay. Whether you're listening on Spotify, your friends behind the scenes on TikTok, you're viewing on Twitch in our main showroom as this is live, Facebook, YouTube, thank you so much for watching. But the tariffs are going to go into effect, is it tomorrow or April 3rd? I heard today, so I just wanted to clarify that. It is the 3rd, and it is going to affect where things are final assembled and those parts and where they're coming from. So that's a quick recap. We dove deeper earlier into the episode, so make sure you check that out. But Greg, thank you so much for being our first.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
Again, thank you so much for our viewership, but we will see you next Tuesday, every Tuesday, sometimes at 12:30, but that is the goal. 12:30 is the goal.
We're here no matter what.
We're here to mess.